Hi, welcome to Detours Understanding Acquired Brain Injury. And I'd like to welcome Blake, our newest host, and he's going to be talking about something that is of great importance because we've not only seen a lot of it on the news, but because we're coming to understand that chronic traumatic encephalopathy doesn't just affect, well, pugilists as they used to think, and other contact sports men and women, but affects potentially all and any of us. And it is heavily connected with dementia as well. And we're finding those of us who have traumatic brain injury are at a significantly higher risk for brain injury. And whether it's a mild, a good shakeup contact and not necessarily concussions, all the way up to, say, getting hit hard in an accident or getting punched or knocked out in football. Blake, would you introduce yourself and share with us your story, as this is your introductory video? And welcome to our family for Detours.
Hey, everybody. Thank you. My name is Blake Walker. I've been playing tackle football since the age of 8 years old, and I stopped about a month before my 24th birthday. I've suffered, they think about 100 plus concussions, which is kind of undetermined to tell. I feel like I grew up a little bit neurodivergent, and so if I got a concussion, if I was acting a little bit goofy anyway, it was just like, that's a typical day in Blake's life. So I played through middle school. Since I was 8, played in middle school. I played both directions, linebacker, fullback, which are kind of the heaviest hitting or taking hit positions on the field. Played through high school, same thing. Multiple concussions. Concussions started early. I remember, having massive headaches at a young age when I was 8, 9, 10 years old. And it would just stick with you sometimes through the next day or to the next practice, where you just put that helmet on and started whacking your head against the next person. So, and that was back in I started, I want to say it was 1990. And so that was back when it was just a piece of plastic with, a little bit of padding in there. And if you got hurt, walk it off, get back in the game and play. So I played through college. I actually started every game in my college career. Again, suffering a lot of different trauma, not only head trauma, but obviously to your entire body. So, but when you're an asset, like I was to that football team, a lot of times they don't want you to be injured. They're going to kind of look the other way if they know you've been, ringing people's bells all day long, making hard hits, and taking people out. I think I only remember getting taken out of maybe one game ever in college, and I can guarantee you I had a concussion every game. So I started hearing about CTE about 10 years ago, or 12 years ago, when it kind of started hitting mainstream. You didn't really hear a lot about it before that. And I started researching it and thought, I'm definitely going to be a candidate for this disease based on how I know I've lived my life in my career. So I've been in 3 car accidents. I've been in a Razor accident, which are those little four-wheel off-road 4-seaters that you can go off-roading in. I had a seatbelt, had the bolt actually snapped, and I was ejected into the roll bar head first. And so I remember being concussed for weeks after that. So I've had multiple head trauma. It started getting pretty bad about 5 years ago, where I started noticing the anger management started, my fuse grew shorter and shorter, as the years went on. My wife had to continually correct me about things, and it would frustrate me so much. I'm like, why are you constantly correcting me? She's like, because, you're wrong about this, or you forgot about this, or, you didn't do this. And it's like, I was constantly in frustration, which obviously played a huge, or put a huge divide, I'd say, in our marriage and in our relationship, because it almost seemed like I was just not fully there, or not caring, or doing it on purpose, and just not knowing why my anger management had taken off, And so there was a real eye opener, I would say, about 7 months ago. I actually went into somewhat of a catatonic state. I wasn't responsive, and so they ended up. I actually went to the hospital twice, and um, those are obviously wake up calls that you're not indestructible, because that's how you feel, that's how you're taught, that's what you're bred to do when you're a football player, is to be rough and tough, to walk it off, and really not seek help and just kind of barrel through life, because that's you could do it because you're a champion. But everyone, all my buddies, my teammates, they're all gonna hit that point, whether it's early like me or in the next 10 years, and they're gonna wish that they had started listening to forums like this. So I don't know what else you guys would want me to add. I brought a little show and tell for you guys today. This is my Hall of Fame medal from
Awesome.
college. So this is what I have to show for all of my brain damage. So I wanted to say thank you. But I do want to bring humor to it, because we all deal with it. But if you can't laugh at it, you're not going to feel. So, but that kind of sums the majority of my story. So I've been on this journey for the last 6-7 months, really trying to get things right, supplement wise, nutrition wise, and it's been a slow process, but it's getting there.
Like what it's like you had said about being angry is a symptom for you. Do you find you had like memory, or you have memory issues as well?
Yeah, and
You
a lot of I would forget to do things. I would forget what day it is. I would forget. I'm very like I said, a little bit neurodivergent, so I always place things in specific positions. I put it, things have to be in the same place, or I'll forget them. I have to see it visually. I'll put things in my normal pathways to get the right thing. And I started leaving things in places I couldn't find them. And I was like, I'm hiding things from myself. I'm leaving my wallet at work. I'm leaving my keys to my house at work. I'm all these things that it was just pretty bizarre. Just the memory loss all the time. And it came to the point where I owned a car dealership for about 6.5 years, and it was so hard for me to deal with customers, because you want to give them that customer service, but a lot of times it is that personal connection of remembering their name, remembering their stories they're telling you, so you can talk to them about that later and build up that rapport. And that I started losing that skill set, pretty rapidly. So.
And like, I'm assuming it's just like all the rest of us here on Detours are like that you encounter. It's memory, just executive problems. So planning, organizing, thinking ahead, judgment. Shit comes out
Right.
of your mouth that you're like, what the hell? Where did that come from? Um,
Oh yeah.
Emotional ability, where one moment you're like angry as hell, the next moment you're like, mm, depressed, happy, sad, all that shit. And then it's like all of us have that here. Whether it's whether you're like me, yes, I've had some concussion here and there, but it's mainly two big car accidents where I was unconscious for a couple of days, and
Oh wow.
it was and then no memory of anything for about 6 weeks, and I just kept asking the same questions,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing would stick for those 6 weeks, and then I'm missing 2 weeks before. Um, Whether you're like that, or like some of our hosts who were unconscious for 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
and like they have no memories for a year.
Right.
Or whether it's someone like yourself who may be unconscious, for a little while, and then get up and go out there and play. But
Yeah.
same things for all of us. And maybe it took a little
Yeah.
longer for us to rehab and shit like that, and like relearn how
Right.
to talk again, relearn how to read and write, and math and stuff. But it's the same kind of thing.
Right. I actually, one of the main reason I got back onto Facebook was to start this kind of, CTE, my journey, my post football. Oh man, I just forgot where I was going with that. So what were you
Um,
saying right before that? What were you talking about? Do you remember?
Shit.
Oh no, no, no,
Oh,
no, 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 I got it. It was to start adding friends or
Yeah.
people that I could remember, because a lot of my memory went away. And I'm like,
Okay.
I had core memories, and but I would go and people that I knew who they were, and I would have to ask my kid,
Great.
I'm like, hey, who is that? Who is that? And so I got back on Facebook to do this, and then also to reconnect. And anyone's
Yeah.
name I kind of remembered, or they looked kind of familiar, I'm just add them, because the more and more I
Yeah.
can piece back together the relationships I had, then the memory starts to come back. It's kind of like you have to relearn, but then it comes back quicker with certain things,
Yeah.
obviously. But it's a tool that's helped for me, you know.
Oh yeah, no, it is a useful way. But what you and I just had there a moment ago, it's like I have that with other brain injury friends. We could be talking along, and suddenly it's like, crap, or I'll just
Yeah.
fake it. I'll just fake it and talk gibberish until something comes back. I'll just throw out bullshit. Um,
uh,
I have logorrhea, which comes from brain injury too, which is where you just talk. It's like diarrhea of the mouth. And
mm,
we just some people with brain injury, especially frontal lobe injury, they either don't talk at all and you got to like push them to get them to talk, or they don't shut the hell up. Guess
hmm
which one I am. But yeah, and usually the content is fairly empty. I have a video on linguistic behavior and understanding stuff, and the
yeah.
content is fairly light because they have to go searching for the words, and they're like, so they'll fill it in. It's like, why use one word and 500 will do? That's me. Um, but yeah, and like I have well, one of my hosts, Kate and I, like swim together. And she's like, you talk so much. It's like, but the content is fairly empty. She's more of the quieter sort. And it's like,
hmm
it's an effect of brain injury, either being too quiet, don't shut the hell up. But you and Kate, both as athletes, were, it's like understand. And me, I was a diver and a swimmer. And all
hmm
of these are a risk because anytime your head takes a good hit, it gets a good shake. And even just a good shake causes shearing, torsion, distension, and does damage to white matter tract. Now, I describe myself more as a neuroscientist than as because it's like I don't practice, I didn't complete my PhD. I was like 2 semesters from getting it done in neuropsychology. But I still keep up to date, and I'm interested in continuing research and things. But what I really
Right.
want to do is help people most of all because I feel like I'm a healer. I also have my brain injury specialist and these other things. And, it's like it's really about like what we could do to help one another. I always say that we brain injury survivors, most of all, we're a big old family, and it's like our job's to help each other out.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's a goal of yours here, which is great, and it's like,
Absolutely.
so like you'll be mainly doing CTE and talking about like long-term effects
Okay.
and things like that, right? Well, like I said, this is your channel. I mean, after with this intro being pretty much, wrapped up,
Yeah.
um, you can like anything you're interested in brain injury wise, but as far as like CTE seems to be your things, and like if you want to
hmm
talk to have other people on board, you want to interview folks, that's up to you. And like
Okay.
sharing CTE, if you're interested, talking about like how it's affected their lives, share what you'd like to share, how it's affected your relationship if you want, because the truth
Yeah.
is it's like this is a serious problem that we're only starting to understand. And domestic violence survivors, they often get more concussions than even football players do.
Yeah. I don't know if
17,
you saw my video. I made a video about domestic violence.
yep. Um,
Yeah.
and we have Jenny talks about that as a victim of, and patients with dementia,
hmm
male or female. As your brain starts to go, you are a you are less and less yourself. You are less clear-minded. You are less able to advocate for yourself. And it isn't just partners. It can be
Yeah.
your parents. It can be your children who, as you get older, are bigger and stronger than you and take care of you. And, if you're kind of, more challenging to take care of, pushing you around to get what you need, they don't want to wait for you to hurry up. They might, push you along. That's abusive too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
not about manliness or strength. It's about treating people like human beings.
Right.
It's about
Exactly.
respect. And this is an issue too. Okay.
All
So,
right.
shifting gears,
Mhm.
anything you wish to add before we roll our, along here and
No, I think that pretty much sums up kind of just a brief history of kind of why I started this journey. So I could talk for hours about all these other things. So I'm sure
oh,
I'll,
heck
I'll
yeah, me
love
too. And
to, yeah,
I hope you do
jumping in
share
on a couple
some
more of
other
these.
interesting stuff, that
Yeah,
other
I will.
interesting stuff you've got. And I know you've got some pictures and stuff that to include would sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we'll add those up as we go. Um, so
And yeah, everyone on, in the group, feel free to add me, to your personal pages too. I'd love to get some critique on because I'm kind of making my own videos. I'm very new to this. And so just different perspectives. I would love just comments and whatnot. So,
yeah, and to add to that, any
mhm.
comments, please put them below. Blake will be, as Blake joins our family, we welcome him to the Detours family. Please, any questions, comments for him, he'll respond to you. If you
Absolutely.
have questions about CTE or about your kids in sports and athletics, it's still an important part of life. It's just about
Yeah.
making wise and informed decisions and
Right.
knowing there are web pages and things, and put links below for places to go for information, CTE, and for resources to contact. Remember what I said about brain injury medicine specialists, neurologists,
Hmm.
psychiatrists, and physiatrists, and rehab hospitals have programs as well. So please share with those who would benefit from this information. Please click like and subscribe. Subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon. And we'll have Jake back with us. Sorry, Blake.
Blake.
Yeah, brain injury. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
I get it. No worries.
so we again welcome him to the family, and we hope that you have a good day, and we'll see you again. Thank you very much,
All right.
and goodbye.